Sometimes your baby looks away right when you're speaking sweetest, and that tiny turn can feel strangely personal to parents. You lean closer, smile bigger, maybe repeat their name again, but your baby keeps glancing sideways, upward, anywhere except you. It can look like disinterest before babies can even speak. It can feel like rejection before logic catches your heart. But often that look away means something almost beautifully opposite. Your baby may be protecting connection, not pulling away emotionally. Because eye contact is powerful for babies, sometimes surprisingly powerful, more powerful than exhausted adults realize in ordinary daily moments. A face close up, a bright voice, a searching gaze. To a baby, that can be connection and intensity together. So when your baby looks away, they may be regulating. They are lowering input, not lowering love for you there. And once you see that, everyday moments change completely inside. Suddenly, the next glance away starts explaining your baby better. Newborns are born ready for connection, but not endless stimulation. Their brains love interaction and still tire from it quickly. That means your talking face can feel soothing and intense. Your baby may need tiny breaks to handle all that. Adults often think looking away means attention is gone entirely. For babies, looking away often helps attention stay possible longer. It is like blinking during bright sunlight or exhaling deeply. The system pauses so it can keep going safely afterward. You may notice it most during close face-to-face. Singing, playful talking, diaper changes, or bedtime chats trigger it. Your baby smiles, then turns away just when you melt. That turn is often a boundary, not the end there. Babies use gaze the way adults use words sometimes too. A look toward says more. A look away says enough. That little enough matters because babies cannot filter everything yet. They depend on simple body strategies to manage incoming stimulation. Looking away is one of those strategies and a common. It helps the nervous system avoid tipping into overload fast. Overload in babies rarely looks like a clear warning sign. It often starts as fussiness, stiffness, hiccups, or gaze aversion. So the turned head may be an early whisper first. Please slow this down before my body has to shout. That interpretation becomes especially powerful during happy interaction moments too. Parents expect overload during chaos, not during laughter and smiles. But joyful stimulation is still stimulation for an immature brain. Even delight can come in faster than a baby processes. This is why some babies turn away after smiling hard. They are not done with you. They are catching up. Think about feedings when your baby suddenly unlatches and stares. Sometimes that pause is distraction. Sometimes it is regulation instead. The room is bright, your voice is warm, milk flows. For a sensitive system, even comfort can become a lot. The same thing happens on the changing table all time. You talk cheerfully and your baby stares past your shoulder. That does not always mean they dislike the interaction happening. They may be listening better because their eyes took refuge. Parents often forget babies can listen without staring directly back. We assume engagement must look like mutual gaze all time. But babies are not tiny adults performing eye contact rules. They engage in pulses, then rest, then engage again later. That pulsing is actually part of healthy social development early. Connection lands best when babies can dose it gradually themselves. There is a concept called serve and return in development. Your baby signals something, you respond, and interaction builds meaning. Looking away can be part of that same conversation too. It may be your baby's way of saying, pause, continue. When parents miss that pause signal, babies often escalate faster. The interaction gets longer, brighter, louder, and harder to recover. That is why some babies fuss during affectionate family attention. Everyone leans close, talks loudly, and the baby turns away. Adults keep trying harder because they think connection is slipping, but the baby may be begging for less, not more. Once you recognize that pattern, your response can soften beautifully. Instead of chasing the eyes, you lower the pressure instantly. Maybe you pause talking for a second and breathe slower. Maybe you look beside them, not directly at them then. That tiny shift can help your baby come back sooner, because now the interaction feels adjustable, not overwhelming or trapping. Babies love responsive people, not intense performers. Around them always. Your baby does not need bigger energy. They need attunement. Attunement means noticing the look away and respecting its message. You are reading the baby, not just entertaining the baby. That feels profoundly different inside your baby, even if subtle. Being understood reduces stress before bigger distress has to arrive. This matters because stress chemistry starts early in everyday moments. Babies release cortisol when overwhelmed, confused, or too activated socially. Cortisol itself is not bad. Constant flooding is harder though. Responsive pauses help the nervous system come back down sooner. That is one reason. Respectful interaction supports brain wiring gently. Safety helps learning happen. Overload pushes the brain toward defense. So if your baby looks away during your little lessons, they may be taking in more than their eyes suggest. Many babies process voices beautifully even when their gaze drifts. The turned head can actually protect listening by easing pressure. You might see this during bedtime stories or soft singing. Your baby nestles in, then stares sideways while calming down. That sideways stare can be a bridge into sleepiness often. Too much direct input could wake the system back up. At bedtime, parents sometimes accidentally keep babies socially activated longer. A baby looking away may ask for gentler emotional lighting. The same principle shows up during playmat conversations too. You grin, wiggle toys, narrate everything, and they glance aside. In that moment, less can be more connecting than more. A quieter face sometimes gives babies room to re-engage again. This is also why some babies prefer side-by-side. Direct FaceTime feels intense, while shared orientation feels safer. Think stroller rides, shoulder holds, or rocking while facing outward. Some babies settle better when connection happens without gaze demand. That does not mean they want distance from you specifically. It means their system prefers connection with more breathing room. Parents with anxious hearts often misread gaze aversion very fast, especially if they already fear missing cues or doing harm. If that is you, this matters deeply for your peace. Your baby's glance away is usually not verdict on you. It is usually information about capacity in that exact moment. Capacity for input, closeness, effort, or sensory processing right then. That is why context matters more than one isolated glance. A baby who looks away, then returns, is still connecting. That return is important because it shows regulation at work. The baby steps back from intensity, then steps back in. That pattern is actually a beautiful early social dance there. Your baby is learning rhythm, not just absorbing stimulation passively. Rhythm matters because healthy relationships are not non-stop closeness either. They breathe in and out, just like good conversation does. Babies begin learning that rhythm long before they understand language. Looking away is one way they shape that rhythm themselves. This becomes really clear around overstimulating environments like stores too. A baby may avoid your gaze because everything feels loud. Fluorescent lights, cart sounds, announcements, movement, and strangers add up. Your talking face can become one input too many then. So your baby turns away while you try soothing words, not because your words failed, but because the channel overloaded. Sometimes the smartest soothing move is actually making yourself smaller, softer voice, less eye contact, slower movement, fewer verbal layers. Parents often do the opposite from love and urgency combined. They get bigger, louder, busier, hoping connection will come back. But overloaded babies usually need the opposite kind of help. They need less incoming stimulation and more room to settle. Another reason babies look away is they are processing emotion. Faces carry huge information, even before words mean anything clearly. Your eyebrows rise, your mouth widens, your tone lifts dramatically. A baby may glance away just to organize all that. This is especially true for sensitive or highly observant babies. Some infants notice tiny shifts in expression more than others. Those babies are not difficult. They are finely tuned systems. Finely tuned babies often need gentler pacing to stay engaged. You may recognize this during visits with excited relatives nearby. The baby keeps turning away while everyone begs for smiles. That baby is not being antisocial or mysteriously moody there. They may simply be protecting themselves from social overload elegantly. When you intervene gently, babies often soften almost immediately again. A shoulder turn, dimmer voice, or quiet cuddle can reset. That reset teaches your baby something important about relationships too. Someone notices when I am full and adjusts accordingly gently. That feeling builds emotional safety in very ordinary moments, daily. Emotional safety means your signals matter, even subtle ones too. Babies learn safety not only when cries get answered promptly, they learn safety when small cues are noticed before tears. A look away is often one of those small cues. It can say slower, quieter, less direct, or not now. That makes gaze aversion less mysterious and more usable practically. You can actually respond to it in real time better. Try pausing your words when your baby first looks away. Count 1 beat, then offer softer connection instead of brighter. Sometimes your baby will return their gaze almost immediately then. That quick return tells you the pause actually helped them. Other times they keep looking away, and that matters too. It may mean the interaction needs ending, not just softening. Ending is not failure. Respecting limits is part of trust. Babies feel safer when grown-ups stop before overwhelm explodes. This is also why routines can make babies more social. Predictable settings lower stress, leaving more room for engagement later. A baby in a familiar bedtime routine may hold gaze. The same baby at a loud brunch may avoid it. Nothing about the baby's love changed between those moments whatsoever. What changed was load, predictability, and available energy for interaction. This matters for worried parents comparing babies to other babies. Some infants gaze longer. Some need more breaks and space. Difference does not automatically signal something wrong with attachment there. Secure babies still look away when their systems need regulation. In fact, secure connection can make looking away feel safer. Babies trust that pause will not cost them the relationship. That is such a different story from rejection, isn't it? Your baby may look away because connection already feels safe. There is another layer parents often miss during these moments. Looking away can also help babies regulate their own feelings. If your face looks excited, worried, or intensely focused nearby, your baby may briefly retreat to keep emotions manageable inside. Babies are emotional detectives long before they understand explanations fully. They read tone, tension, timing, and face before anything else. That is why parental stress can change gaze patterns too. Anxious face sometimes feels harder to process for babies there. This is never about blaming tired parents for being human. It is about understanding how sensitive babies are to states. When you soften yourself, your baby often needs fewer breaks. A calmer nervous system is easier for them to read. That can be slower speech, gentler eyes, and longer pauses. Tiny adjustments often change more than elaborate soothing tricks do. Sometimes parents ask whether they should encourage more eye contact. Usually the answer is invitation, not insistence, especially early on. You can offer your face, your smile, your voice warmly, but your baby should be allowed to modulate the dose. That word, modulate, matters because babies are active participants here. They are not empty cups receiving whatever adults pour in. They are shaping interactions from day one with tiny signals. A look away is one of their earliest negotiation tools. It says, "I want this. Just differently, just slower, please." That is a sophisticated message from someone without language yet. Once parents understand that, they often feel immediate relief inside. The baby stops seeming distant and starts seeming deeply communicative. That relief can change the whole atmosphere at home fast. Less chasing, less worry, more watching, more trust in cues. When parents trust cues, babies often settle more smoothly overall because the interaction finally matches the baby's actual capacity better. This becomes obvious during daytime fussiness with no clear cause.